Hey, all right, we're live. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Carolina Style Live, and I am here with Carlos Davis. Thank you so much for being patient as we were working through some technical issues. You know, we love technology and hate technology, but it's all good. Carlos, how you doing today?
I am wonderful, Bree. Thank you so much for having me on today.
Well, thank you for being here. So you are a professional networking expert. You are an
Yes.
author, and we have some questions about networking. A lot of people are
Okay.
told they have to network, they have to get out there. Networking is important. But first, tell us what actually is networking.
Well, a lot of people think networking is just handing out business cards and waiting by the phone. Or I really hear this a lot. They think networking is pitching. Pitching has become really, really big and teaching how to pitch. While pitching is important in business, networking is not the place to pitch. True networking, the true definition of network, as we've come to know it with more organization, is service. Taking the time to interact with someone, listen, find out what they need and want, even though it may not be what you can offer, and find a way to give it to them without asking or expecting anything in return. That is the true sense of networking. That's how networking works. Now, a lot of people think, well, how am I getting something out of it? It's not about you getting anything. It's you being the servant leader, and helping your community get what they need. But in return, by default, you'll actually get everything that you want in return, because people will remember you, people will think of you as a resource, and people will come looking for you and your products and your service.
That is so good because a lot of times we hear networking is to go and get customers and clients and people. So
Right.
that's really good to learn that. So what are some of the benefits of networking? Why should people do it?
Oh, well, first of all, the biggest thing about networking is you get your face out there, and everybody knows that if you're in business, you are your brand. So by you getting out, people get to see who you are, but then the more they see you and the more they hear the industry that you're associated is, when they hear your industry, the more they'll associate you with that industry. I've been very blessed that in this market in Charlotte, I become known as the networking expert, but also known as a networking coach, as a professional speaker in general. So a lot of times when people will say, hey, do you know a good speaker? I've been blessed to get those phone calls and say, hey, such and such brought you up in a conversation. You come to mind when it comes to speaking. I want to introduce you to this person so that you could possibly speak to their organization. So networking is very, very key in order to get your brand out there, but also in a ways to help others in servicing others and what they do.
Oh, well, that's good. So, Carlos, when it's time to network and when it's time to go out there, how does someone know they're doing it properly? I've had people say, I'm going to a networking event, so I just hand out these 50 business cards and then I'm done. How do they network if you're just handing out cards?
True networking, that you have networked is if they remember you. If they remember you in a positive light. A lot of people think it's just the handing out of the cards. The true test in if you've networked is if you take the cards that you've acquired and a good 5 to 7 things about that person. Not just where they work and who they work for, but if they have children, if they're married, do they like to fish? Do they like the Charlotte Hornets? Do they like the Carolina Panthers? What motivated them to get into that industry? What are their next steps in their particular line of work? All of those things are important because why? They're important to that other person. And the more you know about that other person, the more you know how to serve, the more that they will appreciate you knowing that you know about them, and that they will then become your biggest fan and help you in return.
That's good. I like that. No, that really, that's good because even some
Thank
of
you.
this, I love interviewing and learning while I'm talking to people. So this is really good. Now,
Thank you.
I hear a lot of networking events happening all the time. There's
Mm-hmm.
one Monday, Tuesday, 5 on Wednesday, 8 on Thursday. And a lot of us can't be everywhere all the time.
Right.
I know one young lady who can, Jamaica. Hello, you can be everywhere all the time. I know I can't.
Jamaica can be everywhere. Yes, you can.
Everywhere. Jamaica Witten, JSW Media Group. I'm a
Right.
mother. I have a ton of children. I can't be everywhere all the time, but networking is important, as you've
Mm-hmm.
mentioned. So how can someone who's either short on time, they're busy with work, or they just don't want their time wasted, how do they which networking events to attend?
It's usually good to attend the ones that are very community focused. A lot of times people just want to go into the ones that are with their industry. So if they're a real estate agent, they just go to the realtor events. Or if you are an accountant, you just go to the accountant one. Go to the ones that have a broad base of professionals, like the ones that the chamber puts on. We put on some events that are very wide based in industry. You don't want to just confine yourself to your industry, because it's so interesting how you can grow as a professional by connecting with people outside of your industry and them actually helping you, them help you get to other people within the industry that you may not know. So if you're short on time and you can only go to one a week or one every other week, find some of those that have a broad base of professionals, and those are the ones you go to. Now, it doesn't have to be number. You don't have to go to the ones that have the largest numbers. Just make sure there are ones that have a broad base of professionals. That way you get a lot of good conversations and you're able to learn a lot about other industries as well.
That's good. Now, what about for the people that say either one, they're introverted and they're shy and they're terrified of networking, or maybe the people who, they're just kind of scared to do it. I've heard people say that to me before. They almost dread it. Oh, I have to go talk to people, and I really like to just, I don't know, maybe they're a pie maker. I'd rather make my pies. I don't want to go and network. What do you say to people who need to network? They do want to get out there or feel like they have to, but they're a little maybe either shy, introverted, or just uncomfortable with it?
It's really interesting. Introverts are better networkers than extroverts.
Really?
Extroverts want to, hey, I do this. I'm great at this. I'm great at that. You need to hire me at this, and we can do that. And the other person can't get in a word in edgewise. To where an introvert, all the introvert will do, if when taught properly, ask the right questions and listen. That's how networking works. A lot of people know me as a speaker. But when I go to networking events, I don't talk a whole lot. I ask a lot of questions. When I go to networking events, I'm asking a lot of questions. And one of my questions is always, how can I help you? How can I serve you? I rarely talk about Stand and Deliver LLC. I rarely talk about my firm. I really talk about my speaking. My purpose when I go to networking events is to learn how I can serve and bless others with the resources that I have or with some other people that I know. But most extroverts don't want to do that. They want to pitch. So I always say to an introvert, you are a way better networker than I am, because you will just ask those simple, succinct, concise questions, get the information you need, and you can move on. So
that's true.
If you're an introvert, you are an amazing networker, because all you're going to do is ask questions, listen, and serve.
That's so true. I love finding those extroverts where I can say, hey, how you doing? And ask them a question, and they'll talk, and I'll just listen.
Yes.
And I don't have to say anything. It's kind of good.
Exactly.
I like that. Maybe some people don't like to hear other people talk. But okay, really quickly, help me out. Give me an opener. If I'm going to a networking event, I walk into the room, there's a ton of people, maybe everyone's talking. And for those of us who are watching, you've had this situation before, everyone's talking. You walk into a room and maybe you've come by yourself, you're not with, your friend. What do you do? What's the first thing that you do, and how do you approach people?
Well, the first thing that you do is just basically smile and nod and say hi to people. Just say, hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? Always have that smile and an inviting look on your face. I've seen a lot of people, unfortunately, when I go to networking events, they have that look like, I really don't want to be here, and that's not inviting. So even if you don't know a soul in the room, if you have a brilliant smile on your face, if you have a positive attitude, a positive feel about you, somebody is going to stop you, reach out there and say, hey, how are you doing today? And how? I'm fine. And then of course you introduce yourself, and then immediately ask, what is it that you do, or what do you do for a living? And then just let the conversation continue. Now, the true stance of power in that is you asking the most questions and you listening the most. Let the other person talk, because I promise you, the other person probably has people that don't want to hear them. But why don't you be that person? And I promise you, they will appreciate you, and you will become their new best friend, because you want to listen. You want to help them in whatever capacity that you can. And by doing that, you'll know what to pass along to them, and then you'll become memorable, and they'll say, well, hey, you never told me what you do. What do you do? And then there's your opening, there's your opportunity to talk about what it is that you do and show how your services and products can help that person.
I like that. You're taking the pressure off of networking for me because I can definitely go and listen. All right, Carlos, you have an event coming up. It's the 3rd annual Charlotte Professional Networking Week, right?
Yes,
Okay,
yes, I
tell
do.
us a little
Yes.
bit about that.
So January 17th, which is day after MLK Day, it's that Tuesday until Saturday, January 21st. We have our 3rd annual Charlotte Professional Networking Week. And the whole purpose behind it is for professionals to come together, kind of like what I've been talking about here. Professionals that otherwise wouldn't come together, you know, getting accounts together with plumbers and plumbers talking to bakers, just having everybody in a professional yet comfortable atmosphere to just learn about one another, learn about what's going on in the city, learn about what's going on in their industry. Most importantly, what is each other doing, to find out what collaboration opportunities can be created and sustained so that everyone, not just people in the room, but the city of Charlotte as a whole can benefit from it. So we've got a morning networking breakfast panel on that Tuesday, as well as our Thursday networking luncheon. And then Saturday, we wrap everything up with our professional development expo. So a lot of great opportunities. So even if you can't come to the things during the week because you work, we have something on the weekend. If you can't do something on the weekend because you work on the weekend, we've got some stuff during the week. So we've got a lot of different events to help bring the city of Charlotte together, as well as find out what collaborations are possible and available.
Okay, we can find out more information about that on your website. Give us that website, Carlos.
So you can go to www.istandanddeliver.com. And if you click on the events tab, you'll not only see where I'm going to be speaking next, but you'll also see a special link there to the 3rd annual Charlotte Networking Week. You'll see all the events that are listed, as well as their locations, as well as a way to register right there on the page for each and every event.
And most importantly, how much is this? I think I forgot to ask you that.
Oh my goodness. It is a whopping FREE. It is a free event. We are so blessed to have a lot of community partners, a lot of great sponsors that allow us to make this event free. Because at the end of the day, we don't want to give anybody any excuse to not come and learn and find out about one another. So everything that we could ever think of is free. The parking is free. The event is free. The food that we're going to have at some of these events are free. So if you had an excuse,
Carlos,
you don't have one.
You can stop right there. For the free food, you will see a whole lot of people. And I'm not talking about myself. But
oh, come on, Bree.
Great.
Right, you know we got to have Charlotte Style Magazine there, Bree. So hey, you know, food or not, we love to have you there.
I will definitely be there. This sounds really exciting. I've learned a lot today. So thank you so much, Carlos, for your time. Really appreciate that. For more information on Carlos, you have his website. Twitter, you are Mr. Tell me again.
I'm at Mr. Resource Mogul on Twitter, on Instagram, and Periscope.
Perfect. Thank you so much, everybody. For more information, check out Carlos on his website. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Thanks. Appreciate it.